Hey, hey, hey! Welcome on in, everybody. So, hey, Instagram. Hey, Facebook. This is your girl, Ashley King, aka the Get It Done Queen. And also, if you're liking my shirt, my line, First Kings Apparel. But I'm coming on today. This is supposed to be a Writers Wednesdays lesson. But unfortunately, fortunately, I was wrapping up on some projects because I am going on vacation next week. So I definitely want to make sure all my clients are taken care of. So this topic, and hey, Shondell, welcome on in. This topic was inspired by, I was working with someone on a project, and they was like, Ashley, you should really go live and educate your people about the editing process. It's very tedious and time consuming, so I definitely wanted to inform you guys of the various process of the editing stage of your book, as well as also some questions to ask an editor. If it's not with me, then you want to ask specific questions to make sure that you're getting the right editor for your project. So, once again, the editing is perhaps the longest and tedious process of writing a book, maybe outside of writing, because some of you guys are, writing your first book or in the process of writing your first book, and it's taking some time. A lot of my clients are parents, so I understand the hustle and bustle. Your kids get sick, it throws you off schedule. Actually, one client that we are in the last phases. Hey, Brittany, welcome on in. The last phases of editing is a truck driver. So definitely shout out to Larry Cawthorn. If you're on Instagram, it's Larry Cawthorn Speaks. Also, his book page is More Than a Conqueror. That is the name of his book. It's coming out soon. So definitely shout out to my client. Go out, check him out, like him, follow him, etc. So I just want to educate you guys about the editing process. So there are 4, some people even say 5, but I'll group them into 4 parts of editing. The first one is developmental, and this is perhaps my favorite part of the editing process, due to the fact this is where you get to work with a writer at the very beginning of the writing process. Now, I do encourage and I do tell people, hey, write just to write. If you can't, for some reason, if you can't afford my workbook, which is very inexpensive, $17.99, the Get It Done workbook, definitely begin writing. But I have a workbook which is very helpful for those in the developmental stages. Why? Because it gives you how to create the outline and the concept for your book. I've worked with people who are like, hey, I want to write a book for middle school kids, but then the concept and even the terminology that, hey, Larry, once again, make sure you go to Larry Cawthorn's page on Instagram. It's Larry Cawthorn Speaks, and for his book, it's More Than a Conqueror. His book is coming out, and Larry, if I got that wrong, make sure you type it in there so people can follow you on your social media outlets. So once again, if you're writing for middle school students, make sure your phrases, your contents, all of that stuff, the concept is appropriate for them, and vice versa for adults. So make sure that your concept, the outline, everything flows. This definitely helps save you time and saves you money later on in the process when you have a good outline and a good concept. All right. And so the next one is substantive editing. This one right here, and I'm actually showing a little bit of Larry's work, is perhaps the most tedious part of editing a book. So I personally like to look through my clients' books at least 6 times. The first time is them sending to me. I like to read to get a feel of what I'm working with, how much work is going to be done. And then after that, I am old school. I like to actually print out the physical book. So this is the book. This, I believe, is maybe the second one I printed out. And I just want you to see that I actually write on here. Like, I actually print mine out, and I like to write. I like to figure out what's going on. I actually write on here. So that's what I do. So definitely one of the questions that you like to ask an editor is, what is their editing process? Like I said, I like to read over my client's work at least 6 times. 3 times within the computer, 3 times I actually print it out. So I actually print it out very old school, highlight, make sure I understand what's going on, make sure if we need to move a paragraph somewhere. And I actually, when I send it back to my client, I actually ask them questions. I want to get clarity to make sure that everything is correct. So that's one of the things I like to do. And once again, substantive editing is the most time consuming. You want to make sure that the story flows, that the paragraphs are in the right place, okay? So that's one of the things. I use Grammarly. I think it's Writers Pro Aid. It's something I just started using as far as helping out within the writing process. You can definitely use it. They also have free versions. But within substantive editing, that's actually when someone goes through, looks over your work, and it's something that the software, hey Nevi, welcome in. This is something that the software cannot do. So the software can't say, hey, well, this particular paragraph would definitely fit better in chapter 2 versus chapter 5. It flows much better here to talk about what happened in 5th grade versus what happened in 10th grade. So that's something you actually need someone's eyes on within that process. So you can use free program, once again, Grammarly, and I think Pro Writer's Aid or Writing Pro. Just something I just came across. I'm starting to like it. So those are softwares that you can use within the editing process. But definitely it's very good, very important that you have a second eye within the editing phase of your book. It definitely, if you can't get a professional editor to look through your book. And the third one, which some people say, 3 and 4, I guess, is the copy and line editing. This is pretty much what everyone is familiar with, the proofwriting, the periods, the commas, making sure that things make sense, the grammar, you're using there versus, THERE versus THEIR. Make sure you're writing the correct there. So definitely, even Grammarly can pick that up. That's some things that those software can use. And make sure that you cross-reference your the stuff that you use. So the clients that I generally work with are faith-based, people who want to tell their stories, like memoirs or self-help book. So definitely I make sure that they're talking about the right scripture. If they're mentioning like a fact, I want to make sure that's correct in the process. And definitely, like I tell them, if you're telling your memoir, we try to avoid using actual names, because someone may be offended later on. So I try to get people to avoid using the names, but something like ex-husband, ex-wife, that's going to be definitely obvious. So make sure this is your story, that it's actually true, so we don't have any legal complications that come along in in the publication of your book. And the last portion of it, so some people may say 5, I say 4, is going to be proofreading. Make sure the typesetting is on point. You're probably like, what is typesetting? So it's making sure that the margins are correct. So I believe this was 2, this one is 3. Let me get this together. So you want to make sure that the typeface, which is the font, is a little bit different. So if you see this one, I believe this is number 2. And then this was like number 3. I mean, whether or not he chooses to use this is up to him. But I definitely made that recommendation. So it's making sure that your margins are correct. And when you use, so say like this is a new chapter. You want to make sure that it's on a different page by itself. It shouldn't be this way. Make sure that your chapters start on a different page. Make sure that your margins are in line. Your the book spine and different things of that nature that you are supposed to look for. So that is the last phase after you've done, the spell check, the grammar, making sure that the book flows, developmental editing. That's the first step of the process. I do have my workbook. If you're on, I guess, Instagram, it's in the link, the Get It Done workbook. This is very important. In the beginning stages, it's only $17.99. The Get It Done workbook is going to help you with the outline and the concept of your book. I do have book camp intensive that I work with people one-on-one. We actually sit down for 5 hours and we work through your book. We are creating your first draft on the spot. Okay, so this is stuff that I love to do. Okay, also I want to cover some questions. I just have 5 questions that you should ask, be able to ask any editor, and they should let you know on their flow. And so I think one of the most important ones is, what type of book is your specialty? My specialties are self-help book, testimonials, memoirs. I don't do scary, because I don't even like scary movies. So that's not even my field. Like, why would I write, horror, thriller books when I don't even watch the movies? Like, that's not my field. That's not my lane. I don't like erotica books. This is not my thing. So I like to work with self-help, informational type books because I really want to empower the reader. That is my goal. I want them to be educated and empowered, especially when we're talking about faith-based, baby. We're in the same lane. Because it's my goal to promote God in life, business, and relationships. So if I'm helping you write your book, that is my lane. But we're going to make sure the word of God is uplifted in your book. And if you are telling your memoir, I'm going to make sure it get told right. All right? What is your editorial style? So meaning, are they someone that's going to handhold you through the process, actually explain, educate, empower you? Or is it going to be someone that's just kind of like, no, this ain't it. This ain't what it's working with. I like to help my people through the process because, one, I don't want you to be a one-time author. I want you to be a multiple, more than one book published author. So I definitely want to educate you, inform you through the process. When you're working with me with the editing portion, I have something called the Get It Done Book Vault. This is hours of videos in which I've created about the publishing, the formatting, how to market your book. If you are currently an author and you're going through CreateSpace, you should know by now that CreateSpace is going away. It's only going to be Kindle. I have a resource and accountability group in which I inform this. There's opportunity to get your book on the Walmart website. So these are different things that I like to educate and inform. Larry is already marketing his book. His book cover is already done. He put it on his Instagram and Facebook page. He had his fans voting on it. So therefore, he's already marketing and promoting his book. It's not even done. We're almost done now. We're almost there. But he already has a fan base that is anticipating and ready to purchase his book. And we already have a set date ready. So we are getting things together. So this is the stuff that I like to do. I like to educate the people in the process so they understand what they are getting. They understand the process. Some people don't know, and it's just like, okay, hey, I wrote a book. But we want to make sure that when someone reads your book, it's going to be a page turner and not a book they're going to put down and not pick back up. So this is things that I like to work with and educate my writers, my aspiring authors, so that they are, multi-published authors. I just don't want you to publish one book. I want you to have a collection of books, a series book, whatever it is. I want you to be a multi-published book. I have 4 books, and I'm actually going on vacation. It's my goal to create a workbook during that time frame, or planner. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do. All right, so that question is, what is your editorial style? Are they hand-holding? Do they educate? Or they just want to get the book done and give it back to you, okay? What do you charge? That is a great question. I think we all need to know where our coins are going to, because we all hard workers and want to know where our money is going. So some people charge per page, per word, and by the hour. I actually charge by the page. So someone who may take, 5 hours to, I'm going to say 5 hours, I'm going to say an hour to edit a chapter, that's going to be different. Some people charge, $40 to $120 per hour. I'm the type of person, I work by the page. So I have a set fee based off 250 words. Why 250 words? The average page in the book is 250 to 300 words per page. So I actually charge 200. I charge a set dollar amount per page. Now, I don't give my prices only because those who go through the Get It Done boot camp or the workbook get a different fee based off of working with me previous. So the longer you work with me throughout the phase, you do get a discount due to that. Now, the cheapest, the lowest I've ever charged per page is $6.25, just to give it out there. Some people actually charge per word. So it can be like 5 cents, 0.05, 5 cents or 0.005. However, it can range up to that to 7 or 10 cents a word. So it just depends on the person. I charge, the lowest I've ever charged, like I said, is $6.25 per 250 words. So if you do a 30,000 word book, to calculate how much that would cost, you take 30,000 divided by 250. Whatever that gives you, you times that times $6.25. And that's what you can expect as far as editing. Once I said that's kind of like the least I've ever charged, so it can range. So I like to work on a person per basis. So if you do want to, schedule a consultation with me, they are free. You just go to bit.ly/discoveryN30, bit.ly/discoveryIN30, and I give free 30-minute consultations. So once again, what do you charge? Make sure you understand that up front. All right, and what is your turnaround? This is something very important. Like I said, my client, Larry, More Than a Conqueror, his book's coming out. You want to know the turnaround time frame because he's already promoting. I like to do, 6 weeks, that you'll have at least 6 weeks of promoting your book. But if you don't know my turnaround time frame and I tell you, well, it's going to take 8 weeks, 2 months, and you pretty much put a date out here, you want to know the editor's turnaround time frame. And I let my people know in advance. So if we had a consultation right now, I'll let you know right now if you were to sign with me, it's going to be X amount of weeks. Depending on your book, I do like to look through it, or you tell me how many words so I can give you estimated time frame. And when you put down your down payment, deposit, whatever it is, then I'm going to say, given that you communicate with me, because if I'm editing, I do have questions, particularly if you are writing a memoir. This is your story. I did not live your life. So we need to make sure that we have clear communication. So when I do ask you a question, I need for you to respond to me in a timely manner. So given that you respond to me in a timely manner, I can have your book edited and done in 4 weeks. And it is based off of my clients. All of my clients know that really starting Saturday, I'm on vacation and I come back on the 24th. So I resume work. I let people know upfront what to expect. That, hey, you can email me. More than likely, I'm not going to respond because I'm on vacation. I work hard for you when I'm working, and when I break, I want to break. All right? And then last question I have here is, how do you edit? Like I said, I like to read through my clients' books about 6 times before I send it back. I think this is the same book, just 2 times. I actually physically print them out. I see it 3 times in the computer. So they send it to me. I read it through it. First time I print it out, make notes, highlight it, whatever it is. Then I make the corrections back in the computer, submit it to Grammarly, Pro Writer's Aid. That's something, like I said, I just started, so can't remember the name. But Grammarly is one that I've been using. So I submit it through Grammarly, make the changes, print it out again. I believe in reading because, or printing out, I like to, 1, physically have it in my hand. 2, make sure it flows. I'm reading it from the reader standpoint. Does this make sense? So that is something I like to do. After I make my corrections then, and I've communicated with you any questions that I may have pertaining to your story, your life, then I submit it again to Grammarly, and then I'm making my last changes, and I'm submitting it back over to you. I want you to review it. I want you to read your entire book to make sure it flows. This is your life. If you need to make some corrections, please do so. So yeah. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but right now my website is groomedforexcellency.com. Actually get one done in my name. So if you want to know more about me, what I do, you can go to groomed, GROOMED, for FOR, excellency. So EXE EXCELLENCY and not excellence. The reason why I have excellency is because excellency is the title that you use generally for an ambassador or someone of importance. I believe that all authors, especially if you're telling your life story and uplifting the name of Jesus, and a kingdom citizen, that you are an ambassador. So you have the right to have that title. So I am grooming you for an ambassador. My thing is, I help people of faith tell their story and maximize their reach through speaking and creating events. So outside of you publishing this book, I help you create your platforms, speak. And even if you don't like speaking, go live. Or actually, what I did for my conference this year in April, I hosted it. So I actually invited other speakers on to speak, and I hosted my own event. And guess what? I did book sales at my event. My conference is entitled Polish Your Crown. I have a journal, Polish Your Crown, which I don't have near me. But Polish Your Crown. I actually had a conference. I did not speak in my own conference. I allowed other people who have my same target audience to come and speak on my platform. So that's something that I encourage you to do. So speaking in, like I said, creating your own events. You don't necessarily have to have a speaking event if your target audience is middle school, and perhaps you're talking about bullying. Create an event in which we are coming against bullying, invite people out to have an activity to talk about the importance of friendship or whatever it may be. So just not, writing a book and passing it on to your readers, but creating an experience for them. So that is what I believe in doing, and I like to help people do. So if no one has any questions, then I'm going to wrap it up because I am getting ready for my husband's birthday party, the Falcons theme. So I'm getting ready to do the house red and black, a little silver. And we're going to have cookout and have a good time this Saturday with some ribs, some chicken, and hot dogs and hamburgers. But definitely, if anyone, thank you. If anyone is interested, want to know more about writing a book, the writing process, definitely, if you're on Instagram, check out the link. I have the Get It Done workbook, the Get It Done intensive, because I am the Get It Done queen. If you work with me, baby, we're going to get it done. I take that dream, that vision that you have, especially if you say God done called you to do it, then we're going to make sure it gets done, okay? So don't have any questions. Once again, my website is groomedforexcellency.com. For a free discovery consultation with me, you can go to bit.ly/discoveryN30. bit.ly/discoveryN30. I have a book dropping out October 6th. Millennial Go-Getter. And then I have another one coming out in December. So I'm actually writing, I got 2 books of my own coming out. And like I said, I'm working on another one the week of my vacation. So, and once again, support my client, Larry Cawthron. On Instagram, it's Larry Cawthron Speaks, as well as More Than a Conqueror. I guess on Facebook, just Google Larry Cawthron, COTHRAN. All right, love you guys. Have a blessed week. And if you are watching this now, Sunday, I do Command Your Week prayer. I come on Sunday at 9 p.m. We do Command Your Week. We just come together, pray, uplift the name of Jesus. All right, guys, I'm going to go, like I said, get the house straight, probably do some grocery shopping. Talk to you guys later. Have a great week.